Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play The Outer Worlds. Last time we made it to Stellar Bay, and this place looks really cool. I really like it. We got the beautiful drop back of, I think it's called Olympus there, which is that big gas giant. And the city itself is probably the nicest place we've been to, which is odd, considering it has been abandoned by the board. I figured it'd be more akin to Roseway, but no, it's actually rather pleasant here. We have picked up a handful of quests already, and we've only walked around like a quarter of the place, maybe like a third of it. We just came from this room, where we found a dead body of a guy who seems to have been in some debt, some gambling trouble. So we're gonna have to figure that out, because that's what we do. We solve everybody's problems. Hello? What are you watching there? Looks like a good show. It's not my stream or my videos though, so you're watching the wrong thing. You mind if I look at your messages just real quick? To S. Nandi. Mr. Nandi, sorry to bother you about this, but something foul is leaking from the apartment upstairs. I don't know what Celia is keeping up there, but she works for you, right? Do you think you could talk to her about it? Turn to root. To I. Rose. Isaac. I guess it's Isaac Rose. Can you please try to keep your windows shut? As I've tried to explain, leaving them open, especially when you've got food out, invites manta swarms, and a manta swarm infestation is everyone's problem. It's true. Braxton, I know you keep odd hours. I know because I've heard you coming and going at all times of the day and night. Haha. But maybe you could try to close your door a little more quietly. I have rather sensitive nerves, and every time I hear your door, I think we're in the middle of another Amber Heights. Okay, so you are a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Shaky?
Whatever you do, don't mention Tossball to Isaac. You'll never hear the end of it.
You know, I haven't seen him in a while.
If you'd gotten stuck in an hour-long rant about mostly colonists, you'd be thankful.
Is Isaac the dead guy? I think he might be the dead guy. Because he was betting on tossball stuff. Anything in here? I'm assuming you're all... keeps this big old crate in their bathroom. You know what? Never mind. I'm sure if I did have a big old crate full of goodies, I would keep it in my bathroom. Most secure place in the house. That's where you run during a tornado, right? Okay. Hello? Don't...
You startled me. Don't sneak up on a person like that, huh?
That's probably a good point. I didn't mean to scare you. And I'm gonna leave you now. You know, I was just poking my nose where it don't belong. As I do. What's this here? We got another door. Is there any reason to go in here? It looks like a restaurant of some sort, or a bar. Another vending machine. Have we seen this one? I don't think we have. Now that I'm looking at it. And, what's this? Flamethrower. What is this? Plasma launcher. Facing an unruly mob, hold your head high as the Jack plasma launcher lobs its plasma balls high. Those mobs will disperse faster than you can say designated curfew. Try the new overcharged feature too. Interesting. Chef Raymond back there. Everett Gill. Are you anybody? Hey, buddy.
Good day to you.
Good day to you. Hey, Chef Raymond.
Whoa, by the stars, my poor heart. I just about pissed my jumpsuit.
That's... Is everyone in this town chicken-livered? Why would you admit that to anyone? No, is everyone in this town chicken-livered? I've noticed that.
Easy for you to say. You can hop into your spaceship and leave any time.
Damn right I can.
We're used to folks swooning at our feet. You don't gotta be embarrassed.
A healthy survival reflex is nothing to be embarrassed about. Besides, this place is enough to try anyone's nerves.
It seems pretty nice here, to be honest.
Where should I begin? with the oversized mantisaurs, or perhaps the rap spewing acid at our walls. The board was right. This place isn't fit for human habitation, and I was a fool for staying.
No, you weren't. My engineer's looking to get a dustback casserole. Oh, yeah. Can you cook one of those?
That was a real popular meal 10, 20 years back, before the board tucked tail and ran.
Mm-hmm.
These days, everybody's had a belly full of salt tuna. They all want borscht. And the mushrooms, well, not many venture out of town, what with the monsters hereabouts. I can whip one up for you, but it'll cost. Here's a menu.
$3,000 bits? Do you take me for an idiot? No damn casserole's worth that much. Try again. Try harder.
Whoa, hold on, Okay. Leak contained.
Yeah,
My stars.
3,000. Kidding
Look,
me.
Captain, this is the best I can do without putting myself out of business.
What? 2,000's still a lot for one casserole. I mean, come on. Just give me the ingredients. I'll cook it myself. I guess it is much more reasonable than 3,000.
I'm mighty glad you reckon so. This is gonna take about an hour in the oven. Nothing I can do to speed it. That's just how cooking works.
Do you take me for an idiot? No casserole takes an hour.
There we are. Now, if you don't mind, I really need to take a leak.
Yep, you go take a leak. Pal. And thank you. It was really kind of you to cook that up for me right away. Bullets in the bathroom. Best place for a bullet. And a locked door. We're not going to go through there. No need to start breaking doors or breaking into doors until these people give me a reason to. And so far they've been rather pleasant, all things considering. And this is the... Okay, we got two south-facing entrances. Is there a north entrance? Alright, gotta go zoom out. No. Okay. So they have two gates. You don't want any more than two gates. Then it just becomes a structural weak point in your wall. Resident. So going all the way down there will get us back to our ship. Hey, look, our ship. Man, it looks mighty impressive from this distance. Looks a lot bigger than it does up close. Abigail Edwards. Who am I? Is this for the stimulants?
If Velma's capable of running the warehouse, she can certainly pick up her own caffeinoid.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard on her. With Brack's missing, she's working doubles and needs a little edge.
Very well, dearie. But you stop by anytime you like. Hmm?
Ooh.
Thanks, I'll keep that in mind.
You get you some, Frederick. Hey, Abigail.
Hello, dearie. Why, I don't believe I've seen you before. And with sweet cheeks like those, I'd remember.
My cheeks are pretty sweet.
Quite the bedside manner, lady.
Well, it's so rare I get the pleasure of new company.
I like your
What can
glasses.
Auntie Abigail do for you?
Auntie Abigail? Who's Velma?
She works over at the fishery next door. Quite the hard worker, but she's got a bit of a temper.
Nothing wrong with a little passion. A temper?
Why, just the other day, I heard her shouting from here. I can't imagine what set her off. Oh, but here I go again, running my mouth when it's none of my business. Was there something else you needed?
I've been asked to pick up a caffeinoid supplement.
And what a helpful young man you are. Nothing like a little pill to liven up the spirits.
Indeed.
Whiskey helps, too.
It does.
Please leave medical advice to the professionals.
Oof.
Now, dearie, who's this pickup for?
I feel like... I don't know, Auntie. You have to pry that secret from my sweet little cheeks.
Don't blame me if I puke on your shoes.
Oh, Ellie, don't be jealous.
Aren't you a saucy thing? I may not be a fresh young thing anymore, but with age comes experience, dearie.
This got weird fast. Uh-huh. Why don't you show me a thing or two? Do we really want to go down this road? I'm a little nervous about how far this is gonna go. We don't, I mean, but I feel like saying this got weird fast might just undo all the progress we made with the initial flirt. We're in too deep, guys. We gotta keep going. Why don't you show me a thing or two?
Much as I'd love to, my rheumatism is especially fierce.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I'm all out of my medicine. But I'd hate to send you away empty-handed. You were here for caffeinoid, weren't you? Who's it for?
Hey, I told you have to pry it from my sweet cheeks. She's not going to give it to us, I don't feel like, if it's for Nyoka. But would we lie? We're not a liar. Could you say that's private? We'll say that's private. Or do we just be... She's been sweet to us so far. Let's just be honest. It's for Nyoka.
Oh, her. It's none of my business, but I have told her Dr. Williams would bump up her monthly allotment if only she'd join MSI. Contribute like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've gone and said too much. And you know me, dearie. I don't like to pry.
Oh, I know. You're a lovely lady. When can she get her next dose?
I'm afraid it'll be the better part of a month. Our dear Nyoka tends to exhaust her supply rather quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, there's nothing I'd love better than to help you. But there's not much I can do. Dr. Williams managed the town's allotments from his terminal upstairs. Even I can't access them.
Where can I find this Dr. Williams?
In the town graveyard, I'm afraid. Poor man was always searching for the flower of enlightenment. On the way, he tried some rather daring substance combinations.
Okay. The power of enlightenment? Or the flower?
It's a philosophist symbol of some kind, dearie. Never you mind. The graveyard's near the southern ruins. You're certainly welcome to pay our respects, but the bodies tend to attract beasties.
You're gonna go tussle with some raptidons? Because I've been practicing my dropkick.
Do be careful. I'd hate for anything to happen to you, dearie.
You know, I thought you would be in charge around here, Auntie. You sure ought to be.
Oh, you flatter an old woman. Me, I'm just here to be a pretty face for the customers. And to keep an extra key to the supply room, for all the times Dr. Williams misplaced his.
Good for fellow, huh?
Careless experimentation with medicinal substances does take its toll, eventually.
But until then, it's lots of fun.
Episodic pharmacological delirium is no laughing matter, young lady.
Yeah, Ellie. We're not going to intimidate her. I guess I'll have to figure this out on my own.
Chin up, dearie.
Alright. So for this quest, there was an optional part, right? Bring the passion pills. There we go. Search his body or get Nyoka's medicine from the MSI dispensary. I'm assuming I can't get the key from you. So if we go upstairs, the door is locked. Dispensary supply room key. Yeah. Oh, they have a second entrance. And here are their beds. In case they need to sleep here. I assume they probably have their own place. Unless they, I don't know, live here. I guess it's not. Wouldn't be unsurprising. Alright. We're not gonna... She seems like a lovely old lady. We're not gonna shake her down for the key or anything. So we'll be headed to the graveyard. A little bit of grave digging never hurt anybody. Alright, that looks like an important building. That also looks like the back entrance, though. And we don't want to go in the back entrance. Oh, hey, Frederick. I saw you in there.
Velma's gonna be extra cranky if she doesn't get her captain away.
Alright, so
Velma seem out of sorts to you?
She's always cranky.
No, I mean, more than usual.
Wouldn't know. I made it a point to stay out of her way.
Alright, let's go find this Velma. She seems like she might be in this building. Maybe way down there? I can really see far, huh? There she is, Velma Bellard. Hello.
Look, you can tell Catherine the new shipment will be ready when it's ready, all right? She's welcome to come up here and pack boxes herself if she's in such a hurry.
Okay. What are you talking about? Catherine? Take it easy. I'm just looking around.
Well, if you're that friendly about it, then you definitely aren't one of Catherine's sublight toughs. My mistake. I hope you can forgive my temper. This job has been running me ragged lately. First, my autoloader foreman stages a walkout, and now my chief pescatological health manager is missing.
Your chief what?
Braxton. He's in charge of getting the fish fat, but also making sure they don't get too many tumors. He's a real wizard with pharmaceuticals, but he has creative notions of working hours. Comes with living in a free colony, I guess.
Don't you have rules about that sort of thing?
We're not keen on rules for rules' sake around here. Means Braxton skips work sometimes, but it also means no company boss is telling me when I can take a shit.
These MSI types are living the dream.
Sure sounds
Since
like
you
it.
don't seem to be constrained yourself, maybe you could check up on him. He lives in the apartments. Tell him Velma said to get his lazy ass down here, or she might start noticing those extra drugs he's been taking from supply. Something else on your mind?
You said Braxton's been stealing drugs?
Stealing's such a nasty word. Let's call it skimming.
Sure.
And yeah, let's just say I've noticed the sterile biotics we use for the fish would get used a little faster on Braxton's shifts.
Oh, why didn't you turn him in?
We're not like those corporate towns where you get fined for sleeping on the wrong side of the bed. Besides, the Spacer's Choice stuff we use is cheap enough. And Braxton knows how to get the salt tuna, fat, and mostly tumor-free.
Who's this Catherine you mentioned when I first came in?
Sublight boss out of Fallbrook. Handles most goods that come in or out of Stellar Bay. Has a mouth like a ground six spacer.
Let's talk about Caleb.
Unless you're here to tell me he's agreed to do his job again, I've got nothing to say.
Why can't you give him a pay increase?
I don't have the bits for it, plain and simple. Besides, if I make an exception for him, I gotta do the same for everyone.
Caleb says they need a raise to keep up with the prices around here.
Tell him to complain to Catherine in Fallbrook, not me. Sublight's demanding more money for the same contracts, which means we're all in the same boat. If Caleb wants to keep this job, he'd better get back to it. I'm about ready to hire Sublight contractors at this rate.
Are you willing to meet him halfway?
For running me ragged while he takes an extended leave at the bar? Not on your life.
Someone's going to notice your shortfalls before long. You're going to be held responsible.
Maybe so, but I bet you Caleb runs out of bits first. Then he'll have to come back. He says he's got a stash to tide his crew over. Could be he's all talk, but if the money's real, I bet you he keeps it at home.
Yeah, he already told me.
Near the diner.
I'm not gonna lie. Let's talk about something else.
Fine by me.
Talk to you later. Okay, so we can follow up on, we can help her out.
Hey, Velma, I got your caffeinoid pills.
You're a lifesaver. Hope Abigail didn't give you a hard time.
Just the usual. Any word on Braxton?
Nothing. Don't know how much longer I can cover for him either. Give me those pills, will you?
Here you go. You know, you might consider a real night's sleep instead. Velma's not so bad, long as you avoid her when she's stressed.
Yeah, she doesn't seem too bad. What do we got going on in here? Ooh. That's pretty neat. Wonder what that is. That looks cool. I like it. Anything out here? That's a good view. Probably just things to steal. But oh, Stellar Bay ruins. Sublight contractor. Bloody note. A crumpled note found on a corpse in Stellar Bay. Most of the text on this note is obscured by blood, but you can make out the words Lilia and passcode Antidulivity. Yeah. Alright. The ruins is where the whatchamacallit's at, right? Sublight ID cartridge. We'll take it. Pretty sure the ruins... Let me double check for passion pills. In the ruins south of town. Yeah, so we could go that way. Is that really the best way to go for that? Let's just look around a little bit more. We still need to find the head honcho in this place. I don't think we've seen this one. Monarch Stellar. Actually, this might be where we got our armor from. Hello, worker. This goes back onto the street. Resident. MSI Tech. It's probably where he's at. If they got guards there. Let's go check upstairs real quick. This is the bathroom. Yeah, okay. Oh, is that the Saltuna? Never really know what they look like. Guess we'll just get on this terminal. Terminal is only to be used for official work on behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries. Personal files. Please enter authorization code to access personal files. Mash random keys. No. Messages. Be hacked. Braxton. The Fission Tank 23A are looking a little lumpy. If you're not going to make it in, that's fine. But you have to let me know so I can stay on top of these doses. Velma. Mr. Nandi, we really need to talk about the Saltuna situation. I've had to let 4 batches rot in the warehouse over the last 2 months because we're not finding buyers. I know the situation with the board puts us in a tough spot, but we need to start thinking about how we're going to keep Stellar Bay afloat if we can't get sales up. V. Ballard. M. to Braxton hacked again. Or hacked. Brax, seriously, where are you? You're missing 3 shifts. This is getting ridiculous, even for you. V. Now I'm wondering, was it Braxton or... Oh, hey. Need her container key for that. Was it Braxton or Isaac that got killed? Guess we could probably... Is it in here? The stainless steel rat. It doesn't say. Gotta find toss ball betting too. Alright. I think this is the last building we...
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi?
Just make sure it's properly logged.
I'll note it next to the others, sir.
So you're the big guy here, huh?
Well, new business turns up at last.
Well,
Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics-based advertising model would be a hit?
That you did, sir.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How can 32% cost savings not moisten the loins?
Oh boy.
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me.
No, you have a meeting with me. It's very generous of you.
Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself?
Me? Charting my own path. Going where the wind takes me. I'm just looking for an information broker, pal.
Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, at any rate. But if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna.
I'll take a couple cans. Hey, could always be both.
Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this particular letdown. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board.
If you're free of the other corporations, why would you want to bring them back?
Because he's scared to go it alone. You need the board to hold your hand and tell you everything's gonna be okay. Ain't that right?
Surviving alone isn't as easy as it looks. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection for 10 years now. Now, we've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious.
You know, why don't you get in contact with the Groundbreaker? I mean, if you're both independent from the board, then you guys should, I don't know, trade. Yeah, why not embrace the freedom?
Exactly what I would have said, if I'd been paying attention.
You talk like Graham.
Can't imagine why you'd sneer at the notion of a free colony. Could it be because you're an agent of the establishment?
Fuck the establishment.
Not everyone likes the idea of hunting sprats in the back bays, Felix.
Your friend makes a good point, young man. I used to be young and idealistic too, but you can't run a city on high-minded ideals.
Sure you can. That's a coward's answer.
I have people to look after. I need to be practical.
That's why Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MSI restored to the board.
On our terms, mind you.
Ingenious plan? Don't get me wrong, I'm starting to admire your sand, but I bet you could overcomplicate a sisty sandwich.
What a charmingly roguish turn of phrase. Allow me to express my thanks at your confidence and assure you that my plan is indeed sufficiently complicated.
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
Enough preamble. What's the plan?
It's a two-pronged approach. The first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended.
How long did it take you to figure out that you needed to defend your city? Yeah, it took them 10 years. How do you mean to do that?
With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to become one of the most productive and secure cities in Halcyon.
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
That sounds nice. What is the Bolt 52?
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon. An extremely powerful ordnance.
I was starting to get bored listening to you until you said the phrase extremely powerful ordnance.
It is quite the rush.
Once you had the Bolt 52, what's the other part of the... Where do I find one?
In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in. These days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons.
Of course it is. Why are you saying it that way?
Saying what? Which way?
Arms. You're saying arms instead of arms.
That's just what it's called. It's supposed to stand for something, but I forget what.
Oh, he's saying ARMS? But no, he said... I don't know. he clearly did not say that. I'm sure I'll know when I find it.
Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands.
I need to ask you something.
What can I do for you?
I met Grim, the landing pad guard.
I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff?
He did a bang-up job.
Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you?
Yeah, Grim was good. He was good people. I have questions about MSI and the good old days.
Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes.
Sure is. Alright, so how did MSI get kicked off the board in the first place?
I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed were part of the board's own bylaws.
You mean that you initiated your own removal from the board? This is why you can't trust corporations and their so-called laws.
It's true, the board has treated us unfairly, but I'd always envisioned that things could be different. For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. But back then, it was known as Terra 1.
Terra 1 and Terra 2? I see the board put their best people on that one.
Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to make them Earth-like.
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out.
But not MSI, right?
Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to. But there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up.
It's forward-thinking of you.
It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a cursory review of the data bears that out. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other corporations pulled out, creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms.
You see, the reverse of that argument about sick workers being unproductive is that healthy workers start thinking about their rights. Right? Start thinking that maybe they deserve a little more. You gotta think about this, Mr. Nandi. Using the board's own tools against them. Clever.
That's what I thought. But the senior executives laughed in our faces and insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2 along with everyone else.
I hope you gave him the finger.
In a manner of speaking, many of us stayed behind in an act of quiet but firm defiance. As the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of what was left of MSI.
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of top MSI officials before I was able to achieve this position. I moved forward with our planned reforms as well as our strategy to assume ownership of the planet. Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. Everything we did was legal and above board. We followed their rules, and yet they still found reasons to declare us outlaws.
Your first mistake was expecting the board to cut you a fair deal.
I understand the sentiment, but if we can't rely on some sort of framework, then what do we have? I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently.
I'll tell you why they abandoned you. You started thinking that the workers might benefit from having more rights, and for them, that's bad. They didn't want it to spread. Revolution is like a disease, it spreads. I think you're right, by the way, Nandi. Just wanted to let you know. Actually, I think you should go farther. Screw the board. What's this hazard clause?
It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to cordon off any planet or location that it deems dangerous.
Sounds like the board gave themselves the power to arrest an entire planet.
They would say it's for the greater good.
You sound skeptical.
Monarch may be dangerous, but it's hardly the wasteland the board describes it to be. Whatever the board's goals, the greater good has little part in them.
I really don't think you're going to get along with the board when you try to get back in. Why exactly do you want back on the board? You don't seem to like them very much.
Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and once you go back to him, he'll own your dignity too.
That's also a good point.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
That's not a bad point either.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and being cut off means slow strangulation.
You know, I still think you should contact the Groundbreaker. But apparently Bruce doesn't think that. Seems to me anything's better than the corporate yoke.
I fear the MSI citizens who've been dissolved into Raptidon Cud would disagree with you.
I mean,
if membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with opportunities, then that's the path I mean to pursue. Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us a more equitable relationship.
That's a tough one, right? Because yes, getting melted by Raptidon acid is not fun. But the people in Edgewater did not seem like they were having a fun existence, really. They seemed like they had a very soulless life. So I guess, you know, what's better, safety or not necessarily happiness, but freedom? It's a tough one, right? It really is. I guess it'd probably be different for every person. Just be careful. The board doesn't mess around, I think. I don't actually know. I've never met him.
Oh, believe me, I've learned that much. But I'm also not going to leave MSI at a disadvantage. My hope is to maintain the reforms we've managed here, and who knows? Perhaps once we're restored, we could spread them to other corporations.
They'd never let you do that, man. You don't seem to think much of Graham.
He and his followers call themselves the Iconoclasts. Lawless anarchists, all of them. If anyone on Monarch deserves the reputation the board's pinned on us, it's them.
You've got strong feelings on the matter.
I'm trying to build something here. They only want to destroy things, and they risk ruining Monarch for all of us. It isn't just that they drain our people and resources. Every radical act they commit cements Halcyon's image of us all as destructive rebels and pushes us further from the rest of the colony.
So, what's the downside?
Shall I begin with the supply shortages or the subtle but constant threat of annihilation? He's lucky the board doesn't take him seriously enough to keep more than a few UDL gunships patrolling Monarch.
An Earth Directorate assault cruiser would change his tune. It's almost a shame we haven't seen one around Monarch in a long while.
I think something happened to Earth, right? So we weren't getting any but encrypted messages from Earth, and an Earth Directorate assault cruiser hasn't been here in a long time. Something happened. I'm calling it. I want to talk about something else.
What can I do for you?
We've got to go. So the resource thing is a bit interesting, right? So this isn't that big of a town, right? Like, even if we assume that the game isn't representing how big the settlement actually is, and it's actually much bigger, they were apparently one of the biggest salt tuna suppliers in the colony before the board cut them off. So in theory, they probably have enough salt tuna on the planet to feed their citizens. And since salt tuna swim in water, presumably, and I'm guessing they probably have technology to remove the salt from salt water, if it is salt water, they likely have enough water for their citizens too. And on top of that, they have an entire planet, or a moon, to themselves with all its resources. We know there are raptidons, right? So there's animal life. Probably cyst pigs too, I'd imagine, somewhere out there. Or they could at least buy cyst pigs from Groundbreaker, potentially. And yeah, I think they could be self-sufficient. Maybe they wouldn't be as profitable. Like the executive, Mr. Nandi, might not get as much money. But I think it's probably viable for them to live here free, if the board leaves them alone. Okay, so we didn't go into that building.
You're really running around with us now, huh?
Sure am. I'm a part of the crew now. Got my own bunk and everything.
You know, Felix, now that you're a real pirate, I should induct you into the Pirate's Code of Silence.
Ooh, the Code of Silence! What's that?
It means you agree not to talk for a very long time.
I didn't think he talked that much. I'd actually like it if he talked more, if I'm being honest. Is this the same building? Yes, okay. It's in here. A terminal and an executive.
I hope your being here means the board their restrictions.
Ooh, a note to Otto. Otto, I've been checking your hours, and you're well past due for some time off. Why don't you take a few days? You spend entirely too much time staring at that terminal. Sanjar. Are you Otto? No.
MSI keeps the fishery running and the walls intact.
Notes for revisions. Your reports look excellent. The numbers are front and center, and you highlight our recent production gains nicely. One small adjustment. Can you increase the page margins by 17.3%? I want them to match the formatting of our other reports for maximum readability. Sanjar. Ah yes, formatting. This is important. Monarch Stellar Industries. This terminal is only used for official communication on behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries. View data. A summary report of conditions within Stellar Bay. Productivity has continued to improve since relaxing MSI's old restrictions and making allowances for employee benefits such as time off for illness and personal leave. 24.9% reduction in shift length, and 52.3% more positive feedback. Fishery output is up 15.2% this year, showing a continuing but slowing growth trend. Decreased gains compared to previous years are likely due to the deterioration of materials and morale, occasional shortfalls in our supplies, and the gradual loss of personnel to marauders 7.2%, hostile wildlife 10.3%, and iconoclast recruitment 17.4%. Reconciliation with the board remains a long-term goal, but the immediate concern is defending the city from hostile elements. Repairing damage to the city walls consumes approximately 32.8% of our annual budget. The best solution would be an influx of skilled defenders and weaponry, but given the aforementioned factors and their effects on the local population, such a solution remains unlikely. Hence where we come in. Working slogans. MSI. Our profit margins are stellar. MSI's Salt Tuna. 43.28% more nutrient dense than the leading brands. Stellar Bay. A tolerable center of commerce in a hostile and chaotic galaxy. I like that last one. The best out of three. Wait, was there more? Oop. No. Okay. So I think we've explored everything. We didn't find the betting place. Did we? Did I talk to you? Yeah, you were the guy that...
The body's in the first apartment on the right. So much blood.
Yeah. Yeah. So, is Braxton here? Did we just miss him? It wasn't the person upstairs, was it? That was Laura or something. And we don't know who this guy is. Yeah, he's just victim. I'm guessing he's Isaac Rose, though. He was the tossball guy.
What's that smell coming out of Celia's apartment?
Probably whatever she bought from that guy who sells animal parts.
Sebastian.
I swear, she buys something from him every day.
Yeah, we heard about that. Do you know anything about Braxton?
You again! You've really got to stop doing that!
I'm really sorry about it. Aha! Why is everyone in this town so jumpy?
Jumpy? Who's Jumpy? I'm not Jumpy.
You're jumpy. I'm looking for Braxton. Have you seen him?
Braxton. I've never even heard of a Braxton. Got nothing for you, sorry.
Dilated pupils, anxious posture, muscle spasms. She's high on some quality stuff.
No! Okay, maybe, just a little. Braxton always has a good stash, and I just like to let loose a little. Stop thinking about the marauders and the raptidons outside, you know?
Oh, yeah, I know. So do you know where he is?
Oh, damn. He told me he was delivering to this house in the ruins south of town. Whole family had fallen sick, and he had some meds on hand. So maybe look for him there?
South of town, in the ruins.
You wanna know what I think? This Braxton fella threw away the trappings of society and joined a pack of wild raptidons. You think the people in Stellar Bay ever get used to this smell?
Yeah, sometimes they have something to say.
Something on your mind?
But very rarely. Okay. I think that's gonna be everything here. Maybe the betting place is in Fallbrook or Amber Heights or somewhere. Maybe it's not in Stellar Bay. Do both of these say transition to Stellar Bay ruins north? Huh. So the trap door over there led to Stellar Bay ruins south, right? Where's this one lead?
Hey, Yelly, you wanna know what I think? I think they ought to make a serial about our crew. Only, we'd have all these secret messages in every episode, see?
What happened to the code of silence, Felix?
Hey, why do you always do that thing with your eyes whenever I talk to you? You on the alert, maybe? Looking out for hidden enemies?
Let's just say you remind me of someone.
I bet they were real pretty.
I like the banter. Stellar Bay ruins south. Okay, we'll go out this way. Spacer's Choice Diet Toothpaste. Yeah, we made that. It's because of us. You're welcome, everybody. Whew. Got some dust storms going on. So these are the Stellar Bay walls, huh? Yeah, they got plenty of water. They got a moat around the town, it looks like. That's pretty good defense in of itself. Although this doesn't look very good. Probably fix that. There's armed storage over there. Take a look at the map. What do we have? What are we looking at here? Okay, pretty big map. I feel like the other places were like this size. Looks like we got a wall over here. Alright, let's go into town, I guess. Wait, skill points available. We leveled up? I didn't even see. When did we level up? Am I just that blind? Okay, so we could get engineering up to 80. Break down weapons and armor for a 10% chance to extract rare mods. That's what we are going to do. What's 100? Damage versus auto mechanicals plus 20% and 150 inserting new mods There's a 100% chance of recovering the existing mod. That's pretty nice. That's a lot of points to spend, though. I think next we'll probably start putting our points in heavy weapons. We're going to get the master in heavy weapons. And then if we have points left over after we get all of these to at least 100, maybe we'll put some in heavy weapons. Or two-handed melee. Back. Apply. There we go. Oh, you guys leveled up too. Awesome. Let's see what you got here. CPR. Recover 25% health when fatally wounded. Cooldown 5 minutes. The companion swaps weapons and reloads much faster. Deals more damage with companion abilities. Chance of immediately resetting this companion's ability cooldown. Nope, I like this one. CPR. I tend to favor these fourth perks on all of their trees. They seem to be the most interesting. 20% damage to corporate military. While Felix is in the party, you and your companions deal bonus damage to corporate enemies. Huh. And these are all the same, right? Yeah. No take of rebellion. I like that. Alright, let's head into town here.